But let's throw in something wild, right? Why not? Because we need to. We got some confessions. My confession is, and every time I tell somebody this, they go, that is absolutely crazy.
The following program features a bunch of doofuses talking about the automotive aftermarket. The stuff we, or our guests may say, do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of our peers, our sponsors, or any other associations we may have. There may be some spicy language in this show, so if you get your feelings hurt easily, you should probably just move along. So without further ado, it's time for Confessions of a Shop Owner, with your host, Mike Allen.
So, Vision 2025 in the books. If you can, I don't know if the mics will pick it up or not, but there's forklifts out there backing up. They're tearing down the expo floor. We're looking out the window here, all the shipping crates. Mm-hmm. Quite the logistical operation out there. So you just had 4 days in KC, 3 days, 4 days?
3 days, yeah. We still have class tomorrow that we're speaking.
So
There
really?
still
Okay.
is.
Yeah, I didn't know there were more classes tomorrow.
So 8 to 11. And then after that, I'll kind of make my way to the airport and fly out at 8:50. So at night. So we'll see if I can move it up. But yeah,
what are you
going
to do tomorrow afternoon?
Try to get an earlier flight.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. That's right.
Push it for the late one and see where the cards fall.
So what makes a worthwhile outing to one of these events versus maybe you wish you had stayed in Vegas type event?
Yeah, great question. I think it's how you set it up yourself mentally. You think as far as a company goes, if you're coming and looking for that like ROI, you're trying to look at leads and look at things like that. Some people are really big into that portion. I look at it as always kind of the business development side of things, getting to just talk with people, see friends. And if you're thinking of it like that, it's always successful. When you start thinking of, I hear some people, I didn't really talk to anybody in the booth, or they didn't come by, or they didn't buy my thing. So if that's all you're here for, first off, I don't want to go up to somebody who's just going to throw up on me and try to get me to buy your thing and buy your thing and buy your thing. And I got a quota to hit. This needs to make financial sense. So it's really what you make of it. Every time I come to one of these, I always see somebody that I haven't seen in a while. Always a great benefit. So this again,
I think
success.
you're like a natural born salesperson though, right? And natural salespeople do better at events like this. The dudes who just stand there awkwardly for 6 hours and then complain about how nothing went right, and they don't go to any of the social events and they don't network at all.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that you see at one or two events and then they've moved on to a different career.
I was told I was horrible in sales. I'll never be able to sell. My first, I was a technician, 15 years, and it was interesting. It was really clean, very, very organized. I was a Toyota specialist, a Chevy specialist. Ian and Karen Cook, if you're listening to this, my old bosses, I love you guys. Thank you so much. You're life-changing. So
no one listens to this.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Okay. They will. I see, as a technician, I realized I got moved up to the front of the shop because it was presentable. They'd have me come, show them what the brakes, those kind of things. Yeah. And, as time went on, I was not great at saving money. I had a little addiction, which some of you might understand. It's a little thing called cars. And I had myself I had a 71 Chevelle Malibu, 69 Camaro. I finished, which is kind of odd, the 71 Nova. And I can tell you every part that was on it: Hooker Super Competition headers, Holley 650 double pumper, Torquer 2 Edelbrock.
I don't know what any of what you just said means.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. Wow. I'm shocked. So all that, and I spent all my money on that. I didn't have money like yourself to buy a shop. And then so because of that, I went back to school, went into marketing, and I really had a goal of, I wanted to buy a house and do all these things, see if I could get my income above where it was as a technician. Mm-hmm. And at the time, we love to mention the Facebook forums. I got blasted out there for just talking about what it was like when I was a technician. And it was like, wow, man, like dating myself. Like, it's not like that anymore. We make so much more. Just because you made $24 an hour and you couldn't afford things, your life is horrible. Like,
there's
whatever.
still dudes out there posting
Dude,
ads for $24 an hour on a flat
That's
rate tech.
nuts.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, I wanted to kind of get above that, and I went out there, and what you should always do is you should emulate and look towards people that are where maybe you want to be. So I just went to all the friends with their $1 million mansions and said, "How'd you guys get here? Teach me. I want to learn." And a couple really good friends of mine who became mentors said, "You need to do something that is you, okay, and that your pay is essentially yourself." And they suggested like real estate, this, you would care about somebody and put them in a house. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go sell. And we're getting deep, Todd, here. Nobody knows this. So my first sales job, I sold cell phones in the mall for.
That's a raw sales job, man. That's perform or die.
Brutal. I died. I absolutely died. It was about 60 days. I sold one phone case and I never sold a phone. And my buddy was teaching me, he said, "Man, I don't know what to say to you, but like, you're not cut out for sales." And I was like, oh man, it was brutal. He's like, you can't sell. And I'm like, oh man. So, you know what happened from there is that's that moment where you're either gonna drown or you're gonna figure it out. And I chose, there's an actual bench in my hometown that kind of looks out over this field. And I sat on that bench and I thought about it. And I said, how am I going to do this? And I started reading like crazy. I have a library of 300 sales books. And I just started studying. I started studying the best salespeople and really dove into it. And I became very traditional, which was terrible. Everybody would hate me, start up with a little introduction and build rapport and, dig into the pain and then let's, close them. And, oh man. And as time went on, I naturally just was like, I can't stand it when people say this to me. And I would never hire a salesperson who says, "I can sell ice to an Eskimo. I can sell anything to anybody." Eskimos don't need ice. They need heaters. They're freaking cold. They got all the ice they need. So just sell to people what they need, kind of what you're passionate about. And so,
what if you're passionate about ice?
Well, if you're passionate about ice, work in an ice rink. Yeah, you're right.
I'm a dumbass sometimes. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
It's
you're
late.
Good.
We've been going hard for a few days.
We up at the crack of dawn, just going after.
So when were you selling? When were you selling cell phones? When were you not selling cell phones? About roughly what year was that?
So that had been around 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, 2005, 2006.
Okay.
And I ended up getting a job for this company in California. Became their director of, I don't even know how, director of sales for, Alameda and Contra Costa County. And we sold a customer service award that was awarded to you by your customers. So meaning you are independently rated and scored, and it's still around. It's called Diamond Certified. Its predecessor, some of you may remember, was something called Value Star that kind of went away many years ago. And it was great. I learned a lot. I got to go into all these different industries. But what it got me back to is I was in a shop. I was in Tracy Renee's shop. Don't hear about Tracy too much anymore, but her shop's in Vallejo, California. I was in her shop, and she kind of got off the phone. She goes, "Hey." So I was talking to this guy, Rick Berry. He's got this company, Demand Force, and he asked me, "Who's the best salesperson I know?" And she goes, "I don't really know anybody." She goes, "But this guy, Todd, I buy everything he brings to me. And I just realized, and you're an ex-auto guy. Go and take a look at this." So for me, I kind of had a secret, internal, nervous complex, I didn't do great in school. My grades are not great. I didn't graduate college. I don't have a college degree. And I always thought like somebody's going to, find me out. Like, oh my gosh, who is this guy,
Imposter syndrome.
Exactly. It was bad. I got on a BART train and I went to go buy my first suit. I remember that I was like, I need a suit. Guy's like, okay. I don't know how this works, man. Like, I don't even know. Got my first pair of slacks. I go out there, do an interview with Rick Barry and Sam Osman and all those guys. And they said, listen, we have this automotive CRM technology, but it's for dental and it has everything built into it that are called continuing care reminders. So if you could rewrite everything as far as a maintenance reminder, and we've got like 30 customers on beta. And so I went out and I got the job. And next thing I know, this Todd, who's doesn't know a thing, somehow is in San Francisco on 2nd Street, right in downtown, working in a tech company, going in with a briefcase and slacks. And I rewrote the whole automotive, language, if you will. And then we launched that thing. And this is where the Todd gets kind of like, I was the first person in the automotive.
I just want to be clear. You're referencing yourself in the third person. Is that what we're doing? Okay. I just want to make sure we're doing
I'm
that.
referencing myself in the third person because,
Mike approves.
Exactly. Just kind of like to step back sometimes. And, when I'm in those forums and things, sometimes it's like, I don't want to say it, but I'm like, in most rooms, I'm the only guy who's sold a business for $50 million. People don't really know that. People don't know that if you Google and take a look and find out who the Inc. 5000, 76 fastest growing company, the CEO of that company is Kukui. That was me. I beat out 4,900 other CEOs that year in 2015 to get to that spot. And cost me a marriage. I worked for 7 days a week, generally 10 hours a day. It was grueling. I had brutal mentors that are industry known that were merciless on me to push myself to that level. I'm very thankful for it. It's I got a certain humbleness out of it that I never tell people that. Nobody knows. It's nobody's business. I picked up garbage today.
You just told a bunch of people.
Oh, well, it happens.
There goes the humbleness.
Whatever,
The humility.
It's
out the damn door.
It's out.
It's overrated.
It is. It really is. And
So, Demand Force, then Kukui.
Yep.
And then you had a couple of short stops, and then you ended up in Houston, Texas, right?
Yeah. I did a pit stop. The other ones are too brief to mention, but again, you're kind of finding your way. I did 2 years at Techmetric.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had a great experience with Techmetric, and I'm going to kind of tell you guys something about when you're looking at companies. And this is not a plug for Techmetric, but it's an important thing that happened at Techmetric. I knew kind of flying in, I was going to get wined and dined by PJ and Sunil. I knew it. I knew, guys. You took me to a nice steakhouse. It was, hey, it's just kind of the way it was. But when I got there, the one thing that was most important to me was to walk to the very back of the building. I did that. And I found the guy in the very corner. And I looked at that guy and I said, hey, man, how's your job? You love it? And he goes, I do. I love it. And I said, okay, so what do you do? He goes, I do some IT work and whatever. And I said, okay, awesome. And that's where I made my decision to work with them, because the people at the front, I knew who I was going to run into, but I wanted to go all the way and back and find folks there. So it was a great, great 2 years. I traveled all around, had a great time with PJ, a lot of fun adventures. I don't think we can even talk about the Golden Tiki on here in Las Vegas. We'll just...
Golden Tiki is supposed to be an incredible bar, isn't it?
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's the one that has like the diving into the pool from the tiki bar.
No. There's just a lot of art in there, or art installations that could be shocking to somebody that would be shocked by certain things.
I would have never picked PJ for someone like that, but after hearing about his Miata driving habits, evidently, I mean, that's not shocking.
No. I mean, it's Miatas are great. I mean, my ex-wife had one. She loved that car. She zipped all around in it. And bzzz, it was good. It was a good car. But I mean, PJ, I can't. Is his head just stick out? Now I'm thinking of it. How does he?
I think he just like wears the car. He doesn't get into it. He just sits on top of it, maybe. So,
what color is his car? Did he say?
I'm sure that it's hot pink, right?
That's kind of what came to mind. I thought that
with a custom painted unicorn on the hood and maybe some some stars.
And there's like a horn that comes out of the front that kind of is aerodynamic. Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry, PJ, but that is what it is.
But we digress.
We do.
All right, so a couple years at TechMetric then.
Yeah.
How did you get linked up with Hayes and crew?
I think that something I've really practiced hard on is to work on reinventing myself. And that's just something I think everybody should do. You really need to look at yourself, where you're at, your goals, and don't be afraid to fully just do a ground up restoration of who you are and try new things, read new things, try a new diet, whatever. Just reinvent yourself, and even work-wise, add new skills. It's kind of one of those things I challenge some of the shop owners out there where I go, when is the last time you've had a significant change or bump in your business? Let's just say revenue. If you're judging everything on revenue or GP or whatever, there's all different ways you can look at it. But when is the last time you had a really big jump? And if you are out there really talking and teaching and kind of in everybody's face about it, but there's really hasn't been too much that's ever moved lately, I challenge you to reinvent yourself and make that big jump. So I've known Todd for 20 years. This guy back at Kukui, I gave him a demo once. He loved it. He was like, this thing's amazing, great. And then, he signed up a couple shops for me. I go, okay. And then he beats me up on price. Dude's ultimate sales. I mean, he was just merciless. So I give him great price. There's literally a Todd Hayes Kukui price. I don't know if it still exists, and this guy calls me and the whole sales team's right there. Calls me a year later, put on speaker, and Todd, this is Todd Hayes. Call this shop, talk to him right now, get him signed up, give him the Todd Hayes price. Love you, bye, click. Okay.
Sounds like him.
Yeah, whoa. Okay, Todd. Like a year goes by. Phone rings. Oh, it's Todd Hayes. Hey, Todd, how's it going? Hey, Toddy, how are you? Hey, guy, why don't you call this guy? Here's the number, send it to you right now. Give him a call, get him signed up, give me the Todd Hayes price. Love you. Okay, bye, click. That's it. So this went on for years, and the sales team was like, who is this? How do you have this dude just calls you out of nowhere, just 3 shops, 2 shops, 1 shop, just always. And somehow in our conversation, Todd has this really underlining radar that I've seen him go, I don't trust that person. I thought, man, that guy's okay. And then come to find out, not very trustworthy. And I'm like, dude, his radar is spot on. So over those years, we ran into each other at one trade show, and next thing I know, we're at ASTE. I feel maybe where you guys met. I know was that was a really major moment for a lot of us, because I hear a lot of things happen out of that particular year. That it was 2 years ago, right? Change was in the air. Yeah, it was big.
It's 2023.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I just went to go get a coffee, and we can say God bless the coffee, or just however you want to look at it. But I walked by him, and he was like, Todd, hey, I want you to come on board and have you run all my companies. And I was like, I looked at him and I said, Todd, man, I'm really expensive. And he just laughed at me. He said, I'll call you tomorrow. And I was like, okay. So I told my wife, I was walking to the office in my house, and passed her in the hallway, said, I'm going to go take this call with Todd Hayes. He's this guy. He's got a job offer for me, but there's no way. I was kind of, and man, he's like 17 minutes later walking back down the hallway. And I'm like, hey, honey, guess what?
Got a new job.
Got a new job. that was, and I mean, I'm the happiest I've ever been. It is 100%. I mean, way better than cell phones. I'm telling you, this is great. I've always really excelled at helping people. So Demand Force was wonderful, helping people. Kukui was great. Really got to help people and have people say, "Hey, man, thank you. This really made an impact." But I guess maybe, I mean, I don't know. It is the amount of money that you help people to equate to maybe the feelings of happiness you get. I don't know. I have a lot of people saying, "You changed my life," and that one necessarily wasn't happening at Kukui. People aren't saying, "Hey, yeah, my web presence is great." I don't necessarily change their life, but I have a good friend, Sam Burridge, who's Santa Rosa Transmission and auto repair. Known Sam all the way from Demand Force. He was my first person that came on board at Kukui, and took me a year to get him to come to, out to Auto Shop Answers. If we move jobs, sometimes you get the year penalty, or they're like, I'm gonna watch you for a year, Todd. And we'll see if you're there in a year, So he finally came, and I won't give his numbers out, but he'll openly tell you, but he doubled his revenue in 90 days. And he's like, I implemented this and this of what Todd did. And I mean, the hugs from the guy are way better. I mean, he's like, yeah, changed my life. I mean, changed my employee's life, and everybody, he fell back in life with his business. He's really fired up. So that's what really drives me when you kind of see me with the other Todd, with the two Todds are running around. And I keep hearing those stories, and that's just, I'm like, I found my home. I mean, I just want to help as many people as I can, So, but let's throw in something wild, right? Why not? Because we need to. We got some confessions. My confession is, and every time I tell somebody this, they go, "That is absolutely crazy." I'm covered in tattoos, big ones. Nobody knows.
I'm not going to have you take your shirt off.
I'm not. I will take my pants off, right? No.
I mean, you said covered, right?
A lot, yeah. Try somewhere 40, something like that.
Do you still get tattoos, new tattoos, or?
I do, but I would never really publicize it. Across my back, in big letters, I used to, do MMA and fight, and I'm fat and old and not as flexible as I was now, and should be a lot more healthier and looking amazing like the Dela Cruzes of the world, guys, he rolls with some of the best. But so I got relentless is across my back in big, big letters. And the reason for that is every morning when I look at that, it's twofold. It's to remind me, I knew I was going to get old, and I saw people as they got old, they lost their edge. And I would see that. Why? Why would you lose your edge? What just, will you get old and you just say, I'm just going to lose my edge? So I thought in all my brilliance that if I had a very painful, gnarly, big giant tattoo of relentless across my back, it would remind me to never, lose my edge. But it also was twofold in the fact that my mom said, you need to chill sometimes. Too much. Just go. Brutal, So, you don't always have to be relentless. So served me well. That's my big confession. Because anytime I tell somebody, they go, really?
So
you got just
a confession
all over?
Is like something went fucking sideways. That was intentional. Like that was just, hey, something you might not know about Todd is that he's covered in sparkly tattoos.
There's no sparkly. I think it says Invictus. I know it does. It says Invictus down this leg and Indomitable down the other leg. There might be some It says "Know thyself" on this arm. There could be a dragon.
Do you have
there
any
could be
thorns around your biceps or like the bullets around your thighs?
I'm going to say this. Fuck you, Mike. That was really.
Do you totally have the thorns around your bicep?
Fucking believe this sucks now. I want out. Cannot believe.
Did I just
Dude,
call it?
It was like 1990, man. Come on. That's what they did. That's what they did. So you got the armband. I had it's buried in the tattoo now, but you spot it from a mile.
Do you have a tramp stamp?
Oh God. No, I don't drive a Miata. Come on. Jeez. Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Nothing like that. But
back on track there. Okay, so now you're in Houston. You've been sucked into the whirlwind, the vortex, the force of nature that is Hayes and the Hayes show.
The Hayes factor. I've been hazed.
I would feel like that would be a really challenging work environment because you have to fucking perform. There's no space for mediocrity in that organization. So was it stressful for the first few months, or did you come in and just hit the ground, home run after home run?
So I do my best when my back's up against the wall. I wanted to achieve a certain, I don't want to pay off my house, and there's a couple things I want to do, right? So I'm like, you know what? I want to challenge myself and kind of go into that next level. So I told Todd what I wanted, and he said, without skipping a beat, he said, okay. I thought,
And then he gave you the performance metrics that you had to meet to get there.
And as I watched the way he kind of did things, he was like, walked in, he goes, that's great, fill the class up and do this and do that. I said, okay. And I did that, and he walked back in the next month, never talked to me the whole month, not one word, okay? I talked to Todd probably 50 times every single day, starts at 3 a.m. in the morning, could go till 10, things pop up at 5 a.m., it's around the clock, the pace is full throttle all the time, but he wouldn't say a word. So the next month he comes in, looks around, goes, okay, good job. Do it again next month. I said, okay. Meanwhile, I've seen some people miss some metrics, not show up on time, be late, do some things, and he's like, pew, 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 and I'm like, wow. It's like, you don't hit, you're gone. You are gone. So it really, he brought back a part of me that I think was sitting a little bit on the sidelines. PJ kind of had some advice for me once, and we were kind of cruising around the Miata and together, and we were listening to it was Journey or Foreigner. We were blasting and something Jukebox Hero together and
YMCA.
Yeah, YMCA. Yeah. We were going to a wine tasting. And so he just said, man, like, one thing I see in you is like, you need to go get that thing again, go find that top of the mountain, go get it. And, you know, it was good advice. He just randomly kind of said it one day, and I was like, yeah, that's really offensive. Okay. And the more I started digging in, you know, I value him as you know, really good friend, because that is what I did. Todd put me in that place, and I was able to just comfortably get back into that zone and just really be at the top of my game. So, you know,
well, I think one of the things that Todd has tried to beat into my very thick skull, and I absorb things much more slowly. So I haven't gone back and doubled my business in 90 days, right?
Why?
Because I have a very thick skull and I absorb things slowly. Well, I mean, the dudes are telling me they got 24,000 today on Saturday.
Ooh,
yeah,
so Saturday's work?
Well, I mean,
stirring the pot.
maybe.
Stirring.
Maybe. But I mean, over 100K this week. So
really good, Mike. It's awesome.
That doesn't suck.
Yeah. Does it go back? Does it benefit your employees?
Oh yeah. My payroll is higher than it's ever been by a long shot.
Oh, I love that.
So
that right there is
really good benefits. And you know, this is a sad story. I had a young man technician who was making more money than ever made in his life, and went out and bought a motorcycle and didn't have proper training and proper safety gear, and he got into an accident last week. He broke his back. Now he's going to make a recovery. We're very fortunate in that front. But you know, one of the things we provide, and 100% company paid disability insurance, and so he didn't even know. So like, I went into the hospital to meet with him and his mom, and I had all the paperwork. Like, you just need to get the doctor to fill this out.
Yep.
And you're going to keep getting, like, I'm going to pay you out through the exclusionary period, and then they'll pay you and for the length of the contract, right? So he's going to be able to have income while he's in recovery.
Yeah.
Because of the benefits that we can provide, because we charge enough and because we do enough volume that we can do that. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice feeling.
Thank God that he was with you, working with you when he bought the motorcycle, because Mikey was always going to buy the motorcycle. He was always going to crash.
Probably wouldn't have been as nice a motorcycle. It was a very nice motorcycle.
There's that. But, hey, and maybe it wouldn't have been. And because it was so nice, you're going to make a recovery. And, it's good stuff. But that right there, what you're saying is not the motorcycle crash part, but the benefits and the payroll being the highest and all that. That right there will be the best part of my day. I don't know. I mean, unless somebody tells me a better story, dinner or something, but I have a feeling that's going to be the highlight, because at the end of the day, there's somebody at your company that maybe they just had kids or something. And I mean, you're changing their lives, and it's pretty powerful to see Todd, who has more money in his front checking account than I'll have my whole life. He doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to get beat up on Facebook. He does not.
I think he likes it. I think he likes, like, shutting down the haters, and or just winning in spite of the haters.
Yeah, so. I agree, but you can't win some of the haters that are out there. They're just hating to hate.
Yeah,
and you get caught up in a whirlpool of the toilet bowl that's flushing.
Well, and what they'll do is they'll move the goalpost, right? So if it's, you can't do X, Y, Z, well, I just showed you that I can. Well, then if you're doing it that way, you must be unethical, or they move the goalpost, you can't do A, B, C.
Yeah.
Because they're determined to hate on anything that he says just because he's such a brash and out there personality, right?
Yeah.
So,
very true.
I was talking to, was it Bill or was it Charlie this morning who said, it's not about the money. If you want to give, you can't give what you don't have. Mm-hmm. Earn so that you can do whatever the hell you want and give whatever you want to whomever you want.
Yeah.
And then one of the other ones said, was that, I don't know if that was while we were recording or not, but he said, if you have a problem that can be solved by money and you have money, then you don't have a problem.
Like, true.
That's some evil shop owner shit right there,
Yeah.
Because don't forget that being profitable is evil and it makes you a bad person. We all have to be.
I hear it all the time.
We all have to be broke socialist.
Yeah. There's a weird element out there in the industry right now where success or too much success is equated to you're doing something wrong, or it's all about success. And it's all that. And it's like, I don't know.
I compare it to driving down the interstate highway. Speed limit's 70 miles an hour. I'm doing 82 because that's the speed that I do. Anybody who drives slower than me is an idiot, and they should get out of my way, right? Because they don't know what they're doing. Anybody who drives faster than me is crazy, and they should be arrested because they're reckless. So I think that a lot of shop owners operate in that mentality that the way I do it is the only right way to do it. Mm-hmm. Anybody who doesn't do as much as me, they need to emulate me and do what I do. Anybody who does more than me either is unethical or dirty, or they make money their god.
Yeah.
And all they care about is money. Because nobody wants to look in the mirror and say, I'm not doing as good as I could be doing. Mm-hmm. Now, and there are people out there who are like, I'm doing exactly as good as I want to do. I'm perfectly happy with this level of success. And in that case, great. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
The people who are taking home the best paycheck that anyone in their family has ever made on 4 days a week, and they got a house at the lake or a house at the beach and a boat, and they are content. Mm-hmm. Super. Then don't go to Houston.
Yeah,
don't change anything.
No.
Just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're living your dream. Live your dream, bro.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in seeing what dreaming at a different level is like, and I think it's worth it.
It's 2 days. Never come back after that. If you just it's open-armed. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've said, all the grumpiness, whatever. It doesn't matter if you have 2 bays or 30 bays. It's irrelevant. Just come through for a couple days. But
I was talking to Brett Fadley today.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, you got to go. I know that you're never going to open 7 days a week. That's fine.
Yeah.
Don't listen to that part of it.
Yeah.
But why shouldn't you be this efficient and this effective at helping your customers and helping your team on the days that you are open? So go learn the shit that's applicable to you. And if you don't want to open 7 days a week, don't open 7 days a week. But I promise that you won't think it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then I told him that you'll write him a check for his airfare and hotel if he says that he doesn't like it.
Excellent. And then what's your card number? Give me that real quick. That's
cool, man.
Yeah.
This time went really fast, man. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Wow, are we there?
We're over.
We're over.
We're
wow.
5 minutes over, bro.
I felt like I didn't even.
I know we just got started.
I had all the crazy stories. I mean. But I guess we'll save those for another. No, I'm just kidding.
When you get back to the house, will you just have somebody take a picture and send to the tramp stamp? I just want to post that as the thumbnail for the video.
Let's see here. I think you can.
Do you have any misspelled tattoos? Like no regrets?
No, I don't have any no regrets. Show you this from a distance so you can see it. Let's see. Which is facing the camera there?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one? Yeah. I'll let you see that little baby. What?
Pull it up to your face.
Up to my face. Oh, man.
Why is it so green?
Fine. Because it was the whole kind of thing.
I got you.
I was obnoxious back then. It was bad. It was still obnoxious, but, whatever.
It seems to have served you okay.
It has. Thanks for having me on. I know there's so much going on. The pace that we're at, the pace that we're all at. I'm really, really thankful. Really thankful for everything you do. I love that you're stirring it up and getting in there. And let's get in and maybe even make it a little bit uncomfortable. I think that's all right. I think that you said something, and I'll kind of close my one thought off on this. And this is really what it is. It goes all the way back to high school or whatever, is that we've got all these folks that, like, I'm a Chevy guy. I had a 71 Chevelle Malibu. That was my baby. I mean, that thing was just, but
I thought the Chevelle and the Malibu were two different cars. Is that like a trim level of a car?
Yeah, there's a Chevelle. Okay.
That's how ignorant I am. I know
terrible.
that. I see how shocked you are with
Mike.
that.
I am just, but, and those of you out there who got your fastback Mustang or your Barracuda or whatever, now each of us at a certain point, we're like, that's the best car. That's the only way. This is the way it is. And now that I think about it, a lot of us shop owners or a lot of us in the industry have progressed, and we still have that. I'm a Chevy. That guy's a Ford. This guy's a Barracuda. This guy's Plymouth. This Oldsmobile, whatever. And
Peugeot.
Yeah.
Citroen.
Yeah. That guy's a Miata.
We've come full circle. We've gone Miata to Miata. Perfect.
Good stuff.
All right.
Hey, you guys, have a great day and travel safe.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
See ya.